All right, ready. We'll make another knife video. My two newest knives finally came in this week, and I have three now of my newest obsession, which is the Cleaver style knives. Now, the first one here I showed in a previous video. I've had it for a little while, and I consider it, it's a little tight still, and that's one of my issues with this one. I have two Savi knives. Look at that. And this is the Odium, and then I have the Momentum, and that one is super smooth. This one, you gotta really flick it, and I've been really working with it. I might just have to take it apart and lube the internals, but super tight knife, so you gotta do that. But there are some things I really like about this knife that it has that the other two don't have, and then it has some things that I just can't stand about this knife. So I'm going to go over the other two before I get back to this one. So first one I have is the CRKT. It's called the Pilar or whatever. What really stood out about this knife is I'm a sucker for the copper and the brass. This is a copper scale on one side, which is kind of cool. I have the paramilitary too that I put the copper scales on it, and they've really patinaed up nice. Can't wait to see what this one's going to look like once it's patinaed up. And my last video I went over how I was starting to kind of switch over with some of my knives to the leather, and I did the snake knot, which is a very simple but really cool looking knot. Now I put this little brass bead on it, but since the scales are copper and this is brass, I ordered some more copper beads because I like them to look the same. So once that comes in, I'll switch this one out. Now, I see these knives like in videos, and they always look so much bigger until I get them and put them in my hands. Now, this knife looked much bigger in other people's hands than it does in mine. This thing is dinky. But like I said, got that cool cleaver blade style. When I got it, interestingly, the clip was up here, which I can't stand. I need a tip up carry. So luckily I was able to switch it. They did have the recess, so you can do that. Some of the knives, like I have Benchmades, that you can't move it. It's literally stuck with tip down. And I don't know which side of the fence you fall on, but I'm a tip up kind of guy when I like to carry. So yeah, so I'll go over, that's the CRKT Pilar. Cool knife though, definitely is one that I have to have a lanyard on so that I can get my full hand on it. Although, once it's open, it does have this really cool recess in the blade, so you can choke up on it, and if I choke up on it, I can pretty much get my whole hand on the knife. So that's cool. Now this has, again, I'm going to go over the pros and cons again, but I really like that recess. It's nice and big. I can get my entire index finger in there without feeling like I'm going to cut part of my finger with the blade. So I'll go over more of that in a second, and we'll go over the last one. This is I think it's a LJRB. I should probably, or CJRB. I should probably make sure I know what they're called. But if you're watching this video, you're into knives, so you probably know what that is. This is a good size knife. I am very impressed with the size, and I just love that blade style. It's got like a stone wash on it. It's very smooth. It has no assistance to it. It's literally just a flicker. Which I like. In my previous video I talked about how I don't like assisted open knives because there's just too many things to go wrong with them, and if you get grit in them, they're not going to open for you. So I like a knife that literally just, either you flick it with an eye hole, or you got this little, like this one has a little notch on the top, and it opens very smoothly. This one, obviously, I think it has ceramic. They say ball bearings, but I saw in another video it looked more like a washer. It goes in between the blade and the stud that goes through. But regardless of whatever the action is, it is super smooth, and for the money, this is an excellent knife. Now the G10 scales that are on it, I love G10, but they're kind of gray, and I'm kind of just a black or stainless kind of guy, and I'm sure they'll darken up from my grungy hands being on it, and I'll probably grow to like it. And I'll put a lanyard on it. I'll probably put a paracord one on it, and I ordered some stainless steel beads for this knife. I just think it would look much better than having like a brass bead on there. So really nice big knife. What I love about the blade style is the blade is super thick and heavy, so when you flick it open, that blade weight really gives you a lot of leverage for opening this knife. Oftentimes when you have the flickers, the blades are really small and there's just not a lot of weight to get that thing moving, but that blade is so heavy, that thing moves fast. So this knife is almost perfect, and I'll tell you why it's not perfect. So I'm gonna go to the pros and cons. I'm gonna start back with the Savi and the things I like about it. First, I like the blade style. I mean, it's obviously a small knife, and it has a decent recess here so that I can choke up on it and I can get my whole hand on that. That I really like. I wish the recess was a little lower because I feel like it'd be very easy to slide my finger up that blade, and I keep my knife super sharp and I would slice my finger open and not even feel it before I'm bleeding all over the place. One other thing I love about this knife is the jimping on the blade. The only thing I wish is the jimping went further down. I think I mentioned that in my other video, because if I'm choking up on it, the jimping stops way back here. I'd like it to kind of continue up. Now this opening is completely useless. Completely. No one's going to get their finger, I mean, maybe, but I can't I'd have to really work to get my finger in that thing to use that as an opening. And I'm just not going to do that. So it's a waste. I mean, maybe it's visual, maybe it's aesthetically pleasing to some people, but I'd rather just have a solid blade if the hole in it is really useless. Now I've seen guys, they can use their index finger to flick. I can't even see how you get your finger in there to do that. I mean, luckily it does have the flipper on it, but as I stated earlier, I got to work to get that thing moving better. The recess, the liner lock, it's not a lot there. It's really kind of hard to get your finger in there. See how hard that is to open? You gotta really mean to do it. You gotta work at it. The recess for the liner lock, it's a little difficult to get in there and close that knife, and it doesn't have a lanyard hole. I really don't like that. I like to put lanyards on everything. So pros of this knife, it's a flicker. That's obviously got to be broken in. I like the jimping. I wish it went further. I hate the hole. It's useless. I like the recess, but I wish it had a little bit more so that my index finger wouldn't. There's a chance that it could slide up the blade. But other than that, good knife for the price. So I'm going to go on to the CRKT. The liner lock actually works pretty well, and it's got enough of a recess that I can get my hand in there and unlock it fairly easily. Now I wish it were a flicker. That would be awesome. The eye hole, it took me a little getting used to, but I'm actually getting pretty good at flicking it open with that eye hole. I was surprised that I'd be able to do it as well as I can. So it's functional. I mean, I can get my thumb in there and open it. The recess for my index finger is awesome. Love it. And I like how recessed the body is here. I mean, just a lot to hold on to. I really like that. I wish there were some jimping on the top of the blade though. I don't like that smooth. I like to have something my thumb can catch on. So, and I like the copper scales, obviously. So, I kind of wish it was a flicker. The hole was actually pretty functional. I like that I was able to change the clip to tip up carry. It's got a nice big hole for lanyard. Sometimes they put the hole in and it's dinky, like you gotta hardly get anything through that thing. So, but this one's big enough. Love the blade style, love the recess, both of them. I can really choke up on the knife, just wish it had the jimping on the top. So that's that one. Now for the big boy, love most things about this knife. I love the flicking action. It works very smooth right out of the box. I didn't even have to break it in. It started like that. Clips nice on it, very, very sturdy. It's not gonna come out of my pocket. This recess is nice. It closes very easily. Like I can just get my thumb in there and it closes right up. The issues I have with this knife, again, no jimping on the blade. I can choke up on it, but look at that dinky little recess for choking up on it. My pinky might fit in there, but my index finger definitely does not fit in there. And if I do get it in there, I've got a portion of it is on the blade. So I won't be choking up on that blade at all. So yeah, why couldn't, for this size of this knife, why couldn't it have a recess for your index finger like this little guy? Hey, look at that. Look how big that is on that little knife. Look how small it is on this big knife. So if I could take these two and have the index recess on this one too, and then have the jimping that this one has, but a little longer, I'd have a perfect knife. But you know, they were all fairly cheap knives. I didn't spend a ton on them, but to put some jimping on a blade, I can't imagine that's going to really raise the price of it, or have recessed this blade a little bit more out, how that would have changed the price of it. So, but I really do like the stone wash on this. So yeah, like the design on all of them. Pros and cons on all of them, but you know, it's not a deal breaker. I'll still carry them all. My least likely knife to carry at this point is this little guy. Yeah, just, I don't know. Like the concept, but just functionality on it, not really digging it. Anyway, I've rattled on long enough. Thanks for watching. I'll talk to you later. Bye.